Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Friday. Well, it's shred day here at Statler Financial. And so I'm hoping that you have accumulated some stuff and will be down here from 10 to 2 today to get your stuff shredded. It'll be a drive-by event. We won't have anybody getting out of their vehicles. We'll have people there to get the stuff out of your trunk, collect the canned goods for the mission, and that way it's contactless. It's unfortunately the COVID way of doing this, but I did want to get it done this year. And so we are excited to be able to do this community event. I think it's the 9th, it may be the 10th annual shred event. I haven't gone back in my records to really figure that out yet, but we're excited. We're hoping that you will come out and participate today also as we prepare for shred day. Hey, it's not the only thing going on. We've got the last of the day. We got unemployment numbers coming out today here in just a few minutes, and we've got some other economic news and some earnings on the earnings front coming out. So, hey, excited to talk with Dave today, and that's coming up next.
5 points. Capaldi, Morning Dave is here. This is the early morning show. It's 8:40 now, 20 before 9. Time to check in on your money and find out what's going on in the marketplace this morning. Normally, you can count on Phillip Statler being properly business attired, ready and raring to help you make sure that your retirement portfolio is solid and is going to make you productive during your retirement years. Well, he can still do that, but today I suspect he's in Grubby's or something close to it. Let's go downtown and find out what's going on with him today. Phillip, good morning. I'm guessing, are you in Grubby's today, ready to work?
Well, I'm not going to say Grubby's. I've got a pair of blue jeans on, and I got a Statler Financial a shirt on that I usually wear on Fridays anywhere because it'll clean up pretty good, and hopefully I got enough hired hands to do the heavy lifting, and I can just sit there and greet people as they come through.
Absolutely. What we're talking about is Shredder Day down at Statler Financial Services today, starting at 10 a.m. We're going to take in your old checkbook ledgers, your old credit card statements, even the junk mail with the pre-approved credit card junk on it and stuff. Put it through a commercial shredder, and they can make sure your identity is just a little bit safer than it was before you threw it in the shredder, right?
That's right. We, so many people believe, and not so much, I don't know, in error probably, that they lose their identity because of the internet. And there could be nothing further from the truth. People have been getting their identity stolen way before the internet existed. And they go through your trash, they go through your mailbox before you get to it. There's a lot of different ways that your identity gets stolen. And this is one area that we want to help the community by helping them be able to shred their stuff instead of putting it out there for somebody else to get a hold of.
Now, the old low-tech way still is the most effective way to steal somebody's identity, and that's called dumpster diving. I've told the story before about a few years ago. I get this thing saying, hey, congratulations, I hope you're enjoying your Amazon credit card. The only problem was I hadn't applied for one. Evidently, somebody had gotten into my mail or something anyway and had managed to take a credit card in my name. It took me about, 15 minutes to make that go away. But if I hadn't got the email saying, welcome to your credit card, I probably would have gotten in some trouble. And my bet is, because that was during a time they were sending out all kinds of pre-approved offers to people that had worked with them before, I'll bet you a nickel I had a dumpster diver find my identity out and try to steal it from me.
Exactly. And so this is just one way that we can help the community. And we do it once a year. We usually do it in May, but obviously because of COVID, we've pushed it back and we're going to do it today. And today's the day. Come on out.
10 o'clock, right behind the Statler Financial Services offices on South Ridgewood. We're here today, though, for the morning shift here to talk about big numbers on the economy. I'm seeing green ink on Wall Street on the futures, but if I look at the job creation numbers, this is not what we had in mind. 580,000 jobs were expected to be created last month. Federal report out this morning, 245. Boy, you talk about a big miss. If that was an individual stock, they'd be selling it like hotcakes, wouldn't they?
Well, they really would. That was a miss, Dave. And there's some silver linings within that number. and because that was private jobs.
Hmm.
But let's look at government jobs. The government was expected um, to get rid of, let's see, I lost my number here. Well, last month they got rid of 267,000. This year, this month they only got rid of 99,000. So if we can find a little silver lining, that may be one.
And the other silver lining that when we started digging down into it, we aren't hiring as many new jobs as we expected to, but the wages that we're paying the people that are working are finally going up. What did you come up with? Like 4.4% annualized rate in terms of hourly wage?
Yep, year over year number. November to November, wages are up 4.4%.
And we've talked about that for a long time as being a problem, getting wages to catch up with inflation, because even when it's low, the wages hadn't been catching up. So we're actually doing a job on that. The official unemployment rate that you're going to be hearing about on the top of the hour news all day, down to 6.7%, which isn't full employment, but is an improvement. And you got a hold of something before I did, and it's my favorite number to look at to gauge unemployment. The U6, including discouraged workers, underemployed workers, pretty much anybody that doesn't have the job that they want. It's down to 12%, which sounds terrible, but even at the peak of the Trump boom, when we were down looking at 2.5% unemployment numbers, U6 generally was in the 9 to 10% range. So actually down to 12, we're starting to get into a neighborhood that really isn't all that terrible.
No, it's really not, and it's still, and it's declining, right? It's down 0.1% from where it was previously. So it's heading in the right direction, which that's always a good sign, as well as the unemployment rate heading in the right direction, also heading down.
Yeah, our dream might have been for that V-shaped recovery they were talking about back in the spring. No, it's not turning out to be a V, but it does look like it's forming a U with kind of a cursive uptick on the end. We're not going as fast as we'd like to, but we are heading in the right direction. I basically look at the notion of 2 to 3% worth of worth of wiggle room in there that we got to improve on the U6 in order to get down to the quote unquote normal rate of unemployment in this country.
Yeah, that's right. But we're getting closer. And the question is, with the numbers of COVID people going up and with different states really and truly curtailing people and businesses from opening and doing their normal retail, what's going to happen now as we head into the first of the year? I mean, we may be okay, Dave, for the month of December, just because retail is retail, and there'll be enough places open that have to hire people to get through this holiday season. But what will the first quarter of next year look like as we see states like California and still the northeastern states are still pretty much closed down in terms of businesses? And what's that going to continue to do to the unemployment rate?
No, that's true. The other side of the fence to be said that in the face of the second wave that we're going through, the fact that we're actually continuing to move in the right direction, probably this is the right time for a boom month in December to have happen, which we're going to have with no matter what, because at the very least it'll kind of weather the storm if we can get the virus out fast enough or the vaccine out fast enough.
Well, that's true, and that is well on its way. We're going to see next week the UK start to deliver the vaccine, and so that will make that'll make people happy and feel more positive in the sense of what's happening around the world. We haven't got it here yet, and hopefully our the drug administration will hurry up and get that done so we know when we're be on the schedule.
Now, we're supposed to get that next week, if memory serves, from watching my news reports. The one COVID news bit that I heard overnight last night, which is not good news, is that Pfizer is saying they may have difficulty delivering the number of doses of their vaccine that they promised they could. So they're kind of ramping things up in a hurry, but they're working on it. But there was a little bit of a disappointment in there saying, whoa, we might not get as much as we expected. Doesn't look like it's hurt the futures any this morning, and that's good to hear. Setting the table before we get into reports today, it was an up day yesterday. Dow was up by 86. NASDAQ was up by 27.8. I think that was a new record. And the Standard & Poor's off by basically nothing, down 2.25 at the end of the day yesterday. Bunch of reports out this morning. We're kind of tailing in at the end of earnings season before we start a new one after the first of the year. Anything of household name level that reported this morning?
We do have a couple of household names here. We have Ollie's Bargain Outlet. Now we've got one of those up in Avon Park,
Hmm.
and let's just say they didn't. They had a lackluster quarter, let's say, or at least their guidance was lackluster. Their same store sales were in the low single digits, so that wasn't good. Um, and they got downgraded from a buy to a neutral by Goldman Sachs. They're heading down pretty big this morning. They're down 12%.
I kind of assume that a place like that does an awful lot of surplus resale stuff, they may have trouble getting to the amount of stock that they usually do. That might very well have impinged on that a bit. What do you think?
And that's very possible. It could have with everything going on.
Hmm.
The other, I have Marvel Technology, and that name may not sound familiar because it's not the TV characters or the cartoon characters.
I
It's a
was wondering.
semi, it's a semiconductor company.
Okay.
Um, they produce semiconductor components and that type of thing. Their earnings came in at 25 cents a share, which was basically in line with what was expected. They missed revenue by just a little bit. And so you can imagine they're sliding a little bit this morning, down about 3.5% before we get going. The last one I have for you today is a household name that you and I have talked about a lot in the past, and that is Ulta Beauty
Oh, yeah.
shop. Yep. So their same store sales fell 8.9% in the third quarter, um, which was more than expected. And their earnings were okay, but they're up about 20 cents better than expected. Revenue was a little miss on that side, but they got downgraded too, I think. So they're getting hit. They're down 2.9% this morning.
A lot of face-to-face service is done in an Ultra store. They may very well be suffering on that front. They sell good stuff and they sell stuff intuitively. I'd expect to do well, but face-to-face stuff might be a little bit difficult in this pandemic.
Yeah, that's true. Absolutely right. I mean, I know all of those stores, Ulta, Michaels, Bed Bath and Beyond, they all have places out front where you can park, call, you order ahead, and they'll come out and bring it to you. Um, but with places like Ulta, that sometimes will slow down their sales because they're more face to face. Let me show you how this works and that type of thing.
Yeah, understood. Resetting the table, mostly green yesterday on Wall Street. Some kissing your sister level employment news, most of it good for what it's worth. 45 minutes before we open this morning. How's that doing to the markets, Phillip?
We are. I'm not going to say we're sliding down, but we are. We're going down just a tad bit, and then we bounce back up. So we're basically staying about the same, Dave. We've got the Dow down up. I'm sorry, up $116. It's about 0.4%. We got the S&P 500 up a little over $11. That's about 1/3%. And then Nasdaq's running just a little bit behind. It's green by $22, but that's a little less than 0.2% up. So not as good as we would hope after yesterday's kind of lackluster day, but it is what it is. And then on the commodity side, I do have something you're going to be happy about in a minute here. Silver is basically even, gold is even. You're going to like this. Crude oil, $46 a barrel. That's up 0.75% this morning.
I'm looking forward to the time we can start complaining about the prices being too high again, don't you?
Yeah. Let's bounce between 45 and 50 and call it quits.
Yeah, that gets us to the point where we can afford the gas, but at the same time we can drill for oil, and that helps the economy. World markets overseas, mixed bag in Asia, across the Asian rim this morning. Japan was off by a bit. The Chinese-based markets generally up by a bit. Kind of directionless in Europe this morning as well. One side or the other with the zero markets, where both Great Britain and Germany are at the moment. No trend indicated halfway through the European day today. Phillip, we got a big thing going on at 10 o'clock this morning, and we can talk about that in detail on the commercial, but you and I are going to be shaking hands, kissing babies from a distance, and helping folks get rid of their personally identifiable products, huh?
That's right. That's at 10 o'clock today, and we're excited to see people coming out. And remember, it's basically a drive-through service this year. Don't have to get out of your car. As a matter of fact, we don't want you to get out of your car. We just drive through, and we'll have people there to take stuff and take it to the shred truck. So, hey, but the big thing is that, you know, we've set some records this week, Dave. And so risk is one of the things that people, they really start to forget about in this type of market because it keeps going up and up and up. But risk is something that right now is a great opportunity to measure how much risk people have in their portfolio with our financial x-ray. Give us a call at 863-382-0037 to schedule yours. And then join us this weekend for the Statler Financial Radio Show, 6 a.m. and it's 11:30 this week.
Yep, 11:30 on Saturday.
And then 10 a.m. Sunday morning on Highlands News Talk 7:30. Looking forward to it.
All right, Phillip, thank you so much. I'll see you in about an hour. Fair enough?
Fair enough, man. See you then.
Thank you. It's 105.7 Light FM and Statler Financial Services. Phillip Statler.
Hey, everybody. Again, I want to thank you for joining us today. Remember, today, Friday, December 4th, is Shred Day. I'll get it right. Shred Day from 10 to 2. Come on down, drive through, drop off your shredding, drop off some canned goods for the mission to help them out during this holiday season. Thanks for joining us again. I look forward to seeing you this afternoon. Bye now.